So what do we mean by the term biodiversity? Well, simply, we would describe it as a variety of different species within an ecosystem. So the level of biodiversity is how varietous the different number of species within an ecosystem is. Now, the reason why biodiversity is important is because if you have a greater variety of species within an ecosystem, there's more biodiversity, means there is more interdependence in that ecosystem. So different organisms rely on lots of other organisms for resources required for survival. So that means that the ecosystem in general becomes more stable, because if one of those organisms is affected in some way by an abiotic or biotic factor, it means other organisms that depend on it for a resource for survival are not going to be wiped out due to their own resource requirements being wiped out. They have all the resources to be able to survive on. So the important thing is that biodiversity leads to more interdependence, which leads to more stability within the ecosystem. Now, if biodiversity is reduced, that can have an impact on a variety of different things, such as climate, such as availability of different food supplies, air quality, and also availability of chemicals for future use and manufacturing. And the reason why biodiversity can be reduced is primarily due to human activity. And that can be through food production. So, for example, chopping down large amounts of forests in the Amazon for cattle grazing. So cattle can be grazed and then slaughtered for food production. Waste production through air pollution, water pollution, and they're making due to manufacturing processes that humans carry out, and also deforestation, the chopping down of trees. These all have a massive impact on biodiversity within different ecosystems. And the reason why they're such an issue is because that change in biodiversity due to human activities can lead to a variety of different things, such as droughts, flooding, more toxic gases in the atmosphere, temperature changes, and these are all things that can affect organisms. And so if you think about things like droughts and flooding, many species and populations are obviously affected by that, and wet and dry seasons. Less water means fewer organisms, more animals can migrate to different areas due to different rainfall patterns. Animals also migrate due to temperature changes throughout the year, and with birds flying to hotter or cooler countries depending on the season. So increased temperature may increase certain populations while decreasing others, and so these factors obviously affect the number of organisms within a ecosystem, and their variety affects the biodiversity. It might reduce interdependence, which means the ecosystem is less stable and you're more likely to lead to species extinctions over time.